It all began one day when my eldest uncle came to our house with my grandfather. They came to ask for my hand in marriage to his son. I was 18 at the time and my cousin Ahmad was 25. My father asked them for some time to speak with me and hear my opinion. They agreed and said they would wait for our answer. That evening, my father called me and said, "Tell me honestly, without feeling shy, what do you think?" I said, "Ahmad is a good man, but, Baba, I don't want to get married yet." He asked, "Why not?" I told him, "I still want to study." He smiled and said, "All right, don't worry at all. I'll tell your uncle that your answer is no." I felt so happy. The next day, my father told my uncle that my answer was no. But they insisted, saying, "Let's visit again. Maybe she'll change her mind." My father agreed but warned them, the final word will be Sahar's. When they came over again, my aunt called me, "Come sit with us." I went and sat down, feeling shy. Although our families visited each other often, this time was different. This was a proposal meeting, and I felt truly uncomfortable. My uncle began speaking, "If your refusal is only because of her age, then there's no problem. We can leave a ring here as a promise, and after 5 years, when she finishes her studies, we will officially have them engaged. I give you my word that in these 5 years, Ahmad will only see her as a cousin. There will be no special conversations between them, nothing beyond the usual family greetings." My father glanced at me, as if to say, "What do you think?" I lowered my head. He understood that I needed time to think. He ended the conversation politely and told me, "Go back to your studies, Baba June." Which was his way of saying, "Go and escape this heavy atmosphere." I silently thanked God, excused myself from the room, and went to my room. I removed my headscarf and took a deep breath. Something felt heavy on my chest. I didn't know exactly what was wrong, but my heart was uneasy. For days, I kept thinking. Ahmed's kind face would come to mind, his honey-colored eyes, his soft brown hair. He was handsome. But I only saw him as my cousin, nothing more, and yet, a thought kept whispering to me, in this world, maybe there's no one I can trust as much as Ahmad. Someone who had been there for me since childhood. And the truth was, my uncle himself had said, "We'll only get them officially engaged after 5 years. That meant I had plenty of time to finish my studies, time to think. But deep down, I knew, if they placed that engagement ring on my finger, I would already be considered their bride, just with a little delay. These thoughts were driving me crazy. In the end, I decided to agree. That 5 years later, I would marry Ahmad. We lived in a small community, and the very next day, everyone knew that Ahmad and I were almost engaged. People congratulated us, they were happy. A year passed like that. And to be fair, Ahmad never looked at me as anything but his cousin. He never spoke of our agreement. Sometimes, I even forgot that such an agreement existed. One day, a friend of mine sent me a message, "We have a Telegram group. You should install Telegram so I can add you." I said, "All right." When she added me, I saw the members. It was a mixed group of men and women, all from our hometown. I knew every single one of them. They welcomed me warmly. The guys asked, "Who is she?" One of my friends answered, "This is Sahar," but I didn't feel comfortable in that environment. 2 days later, I left the group. One of the guys, someone from our town, 23 years old, sent me a private message, "Sister, why did you leave? Did someone say something?" I replied, "No, it's just, I feel more comfortable this way." He said, "You don't like being among us?" I typed, "No, that's not it at all," but then I deleted it. Instead, I wrote, "Yes, exactly. I just didn't want to be there." He said, "All right, but if you ever want to come back, let me know and I'll send you the link." Minutes later, he changed his profile picture. It was a funny cartoon of a little girl with the words, "God, whoever doesn't like me, let them get AIDS." I understood it was aimed at me. Sarcastically, I replied, "Well, I guess tomorrow we'll see the AIDS statistics rising everywhere." He sent me a voice note. First, he laughed. Then he said, "Oh, so that's how it is." And in that moment, my heart trembled. A tremble that would destroy my life, more devastating than the earthquake in Bam. The sound of his laughter. It has never left my heart, never faded from my mind. That was the beginning. We started messaging. Whenever everyone else was online in the group, we were online too, but chatting privately. Those moments were so sweet. Even now, I can still taste their sweetness in my heart. When I remember every single detail, my soul fills with love and joy. We had an unbelievable harmony. In every matter, we agreed. Our lives mirrored each other in ways that amazed us and made us happy. We would often say, "In the end, this harmony will kill us." His name was Omid. He had wavy black hair, pale skin, and the most beautiful eyes. Green, glassy eyes that could drown a person in their depths. It was as if his eyes could cast a spell on me. Every day, he went to the gym and the swimming pool, and because of that, his body was truly athletic. When he sent me photos in his fitted shirts, I couldn't take my eyes off him. Sometimes, we stayed up all night chatting. As if we could never get enough of each other. Our conversations never seemed to end. We had never spoken on the phone. But sometimes, late at night, he would call. We would just listen to each other's breathing. For me, that was the most pleasurable thing in the world. Even now, I think, I'd be willing to listen to those deep, slow breaths under a blanket one more time, and then die, because I would have no other wish left in life. As I said before, we lived in a small town where everyone knew each other. If anyone found out about my relationship with Omid, it would be disastrous for both of us. But Omid didn't seem to fear being discovered. Whenever I told him I was going somewhere, he would rush over on his motorcycle, stop at our door, look at me with a smile, and then leave. Every time I saw him, my heart wanted to escape the cage of my chest and fly out, but I'd scolded to stay put, to avoid causing a scandal. Whenever I saw him, or even thought of him, my blood would rush through my body, my skin would burn with heat, and my face would flush red. I burned in the fire of love, and what could be more intoxicating than that? At the time, I was attending prep classes for university entrance exams. Whenever Omid found out I had a class, he would pass by the front of the institute just to see me. But I was terrified someone would notice. And yes, they say, what you fear most will happen to you, and they're right. 5 months passed like this, and every day, our attachment grew stronger. Back then, I thought it was just a simple attachment. But now I know. That kind of love they talk about in stories? It's real. One night, around 3 in the morning, I was online, chatting with Omid on Telegram, when suddenly Ahmad messaged me, "Cousin, why are you online at this hour?" The moment I saw his message, my whole body froze. I was under my blanket, but it felt like I was standing outside in the freezing winter. I was so cold, my teeth were chattering. I replied, "Oh. I was just exchanging test questions with a friend. I didn't notice the time." "Why are you awake?" He said, "I just woke up. Couldn't sleep. And to my surprise, I saw you online." I answered quickly, "I was just about to sleep. Good night." But Omid messaged me again. He said he wasn't sleepy and that I could go to bed if I wanted. But how could I pull myself away from my love? I told him I wasn't sleepy either, and we talked until 5 in the morning. He told me stories from his teenage years. Funny ones. And we laughed together endlessly. Those days, I lived more joyfully in 5 months than in 80 years of life. The next day, I planned to go to the bazaar, and I arranged to see Omid from a distance.